Hey, it's Vas here from Aussie RC Playground, and today I'm going to be introducing you to some new batteries from Hobby King. These are the Turnigy Bolt X or Bolt V2s or Bolts maybe. So for those of you who don't know anything about the Bolt range of batteries, Hobby King had released a LiPo high voltage range quite a number of years ago. In fact, I've actually got one of the original ones from back in the day. It's a tiny little 2S 500 milliamp. And you can see by the date there how far back this goes. 7-8 years ago, somewhere around there is when they released them. Now that entire range of Bolt batteries has gone completely away. So they've deleted all of them, discontinued them. These are completely new batteries with completely new cells. So any of you that have probably had some, whatever experiences you had with those previous versions, these are going to be totally different. Now there is a rapid pack here, which we'll talk about a little bit. It's a bit of an odd one, but I wanted to include it in this video as well. And I'm actually going to be doing another video on my second channel, which is Aussie RC Airspace, where I'm going to be covering off some of the smaller batteries for aeroplanes and so forth. In this video, I'm just going to be showing you the 6S batteries. We're going to be doing some size comparisons, and I'll even flash up some different weight comparisons as well, just so you guys can have a bit of a better understanding as to why these batteries are kind of a big deal at the moment. So let's clear the table. Let's bring out the bigger packs, and we'll discuss this in a little bit more detail. Okay, so we're going to start off with this rapid pack. This is the black sheep of the lot here. This also came with these Bolt batteries that Hobby King sent out to me, so big thanks to them. But I wanted to sort of include it in here as well, just to show it to you, because it is a high voltage LiPo. It is 8,400 milliamps, and it is a hard case 4S, which is just standard size, right? Build quality on this thing looks really good. You got a nice shrink wrap on the hard case. You have 10 gauge wire, XD90 connectors, and they also included this shrink wrap on the balance lead, which I don't see too much of, to be honest with you. Keeps the balance lead nice and stiff, but it also allows you to sort of fold it back, and maybe when you put your battery straps, you can strap that in and keep it out of harm's way. So not a bad thing at all. Really looking forward to seeing how this guy performs. So look out for it as I run it with some of my other cars. And we're going to be using this as our baseline, I guess, for a lot of these size comparisons. And I'm also going to be flashing up some weights on here as well, so you guys know exactly how much these batteries weigh, to give you a bit of an indication of how they compare to the ones that you're using at the moment. I've also got some 6S batteries here. Now these are not Hobby King branded ones, although I do have some other Hobby King branded ones here that we can do some size comparisons with as well. But these, I think, are more your typical type. You may not use this brand specifically, but this is the sort of size that most 6S batteries are going to be. Comparison to your 4S pack, you can see they're slightly longer, but at the end, they're very much the same sort of size. So these will fit in most battery trays. In some cases, you'll be able to fit these in buggies as well. Not all buggies. I have struggled a couple of times to fit 5000s in some of my buggies because of the bodies. They're really low slung and they interfere with cables and so forth. So, but I think typically this is roughly, right? It's just a rough estimate of what most people are going to be using. All right, so let's talk about these Bolt batteries. As I said, LiPo high voltage. These are all 80C capacity, or discharge rather. So I know that the C rating in batteries can be heavily debated online. Some people believe it, some people don't, whatever. But this is what the batteries come stamped with. Build quality wise, we'll start with the 4500 here. These are all pretty much the same. Again, 10 gauge wire on all of these, which is really good. Balance lead is on here. I will say there is a bit of inconsistency in the length of the balance lead. I don't know if that's on purpose or if it's just accidental, if my camera would focus here. But yeah, it is something that I have noticed where some of them have reasonable sort of average length, and then you got other ones like this one here, which is quite long. So I don't know, such a little bit of feedback for Hobby King. I personally prefer them to have a little bit of length to them, just so that I can fold them and strap them under battery straps and things like that. If they're too short, it also makes it harder for when you're trying to charge them, because your battery is kind of like, pulling pressure on the balance board, or for some of those chargers that don't have balance boards, where you got to plug the balance lead directly into the charger. it does make it a little bit tougher when the balance lead's not very long. As far as the battery itself, looks like it's got some nice hard plastic sides here, similar to what this whatever power one is. So this actually feels really hard, unlike the HRB, which you can see is starting to puff up a little bit. It's got a bit of roundness to it. There's no protective layer on these batteries, which is a bit of a letdown. So these don't make great basher packs, but these ones here definitely would survive a little bit more or a little bit better than these HRBs. So I think these are going to do just fine for those of you out there. And of course, the 4500 is actually a really good size because you're only sacrificing about 500 milliamps. But if you look at it compared to the 4S pack, it's actually very similar. So it's probably slightly longer. You probably need a little bit more length in your battery tray to fit this in. But I think for buggies, this will actually be a really good battery. You can see it's a little bit shorter this way. And if we go this way as well, it's also like maybe a couple of mil thinner that way as well, and this will also give you a good indication of what it looks like lengthwise compared to a standard 4S battery. So I think for those of us who have some buggies where strapping in a 6S can be a bit of a challenge, this could be a really good battery. So 4500 milliamp 6S 80C from Bolt. Now we've got the 5400 milliamp. So even though this one's packing 400 milliamps more than your typical 5000, it's actually still slightly smaller. So lengthwise, very much the same, but you can see it is marginally thinner this way. It's about the same height here, but if we put it this way, it's about 1.5 millimeters or so thinner this way, even though it is packing an extra 400 milliamps. So wherever you're running these 5000s in your RC cars, this 5400 should fit without any problems at all. Moving on to this one, which I think is going to be the more popular one, if the numbers are correct, right? This is going to be one that I think is going to be a winner for a lot of people. So 6200 milliamps, and comparison to this 5000, it is almost a 1-to-1 size comparison. You can see it's identical in length, right? Width-wise, it's very much the same. And height-wise, it's also the same this way. So you can see these are flush, right? I'm grabbing them here, they're totally flush. And if we go this way, I'll actually flip it around because I got Velcro on here because this was used in the plane. I tell you, maybe 0.5 millimeter this one is a little bit taller. That's about it. So not bad at all considering you're carrying an extra 1200 milliamps, oops, it's upside down, compared to the 5000. And again, this will be identical comparison to the 4S here. So height and width, very comparable, just slightly longer, just like that 5000 was. All right, moving on to now, we're getting into territory where not everyone is going to be able to use these packs, right? This is some vehicles, these will fit okay, some vehicles they will not fit well at all. So we're looking at the 7500 milliamp here. Now you'll notice as well, I don't know if you guys have picked this up, but a lot of these have come with the anti-spark XT90 connectors, but this 8500 here doesn't have anti-spark, it's just a standard XT90. I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's a miss from Turnigy, or if you actually get the choice when you're ordering these packs, you can have different types of connectors with them, so that might be a thing. As I said, these haven't been released as of yet, at least as of the time of filming, so once they become available, all of these answers will become available to you as well. So 7500 milliamp, you put a 5000 on top here, and you'll think, Vas, but are you talking about it's the same length? This would work perfect, except it's quite a fair bit. It's like, I don't know, 30 to 40% wider. So it's height-wise, I mean, it's actually a little bit thinner. Even if we turn it this way, it's still like 1 millimeter thinner this way, but it's just so much wider. So you really need to have some height clearance in the RC. So big monster trucks, you might be able to run this okay. The Mojave from Armour, for example, will work just fine. But yeah, you just got to be mindful that this is quite a wide pack. Moving on to one that I think is also going to be very popular actually. This is one of my favorites. It's the 8500 milliamp Now, to give you an idea of size comparisons, this is what the 5000 looks like on top of it, right? So it's only a little bit longer. Width-wise, this way is very much the same. So it's pretty much flush like that. But of course, it is slightly wider. The thing is, anyone that's running batteries like these, like a 6000 milliamp, this is pretty much the same size. Look at that. So the 8500 is probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 mil longer, but the dimensions at the end are almost identical, right? Okay, it's a little bit taller this way, but it's very, very similar nonetheless. Unless this is like a really snug fit, then fair enough, you won't be able to run this. Probably the biggest one you'll be able to run is a 6200. Yeah, the 8500 I think is going to be a real popular pack as well. Now, this one here is going to be interesting because this is a 9500 milliamp. And this is a big boy. I think this is the biggest one they have. We're just gonna dwarf this 4S pack quite a bit here. You can see how much bigger that is. Height-wise this way, it's about the same. And I do like that a lot of these batteries do have at least one size that will fit in the battery tray. So in this case, you're most likely gonna be fitting it this way inside your battery tray. It's just a matter of whether or not you have the length and the height clearance. So again, in most monster trucks, this should be fine, but you need to make sure you have the battery length to be able to support a pack like this. Compared to your typical 5000, you can see the length difference there. You can see the width difference here, and height-wise, it is almost identical. So this should work just fine as far as height goes. And there we have it. There are the 6S Bolt LiPo high voltage batteries from Hobby King, as I try to rearrange this and put everything back the way it was while we wrap this video up. I'll move these out of the way and bring back the Rapid one more time. And yeah, we're gonna leave it here. I'll flip that around actually because it's upside down. We're gonna leave it here. Again, big shout out to Hobby King for sending these out for review. Look out for a second video on my second channel, which is Aussie RC Airspace, where I'll be covering off not just these packs in relation to how they fit in aircraft and so forth, but also the other packs that you saw at the start of the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that like button before you go, of course, if you enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be speaking to you all next time.